All right, let's try this. I think you guys can hear me now. That other thing just went completely out. I think it's the software to it, or they're monitoring me and whatever. But I went to the old microphone. Isn't that sad? It's totally sad. But the whole premise of what I'm talking about, you guys, is we need to mind our own business when it comes to what is happening in the United States. I remember people talking about, well, give Biden a time. He's only been in there a week. Give him a chance, whatever. We waited a whole 4 years, and Joe Biden didn't do one thing he promised he was going to do for Black people. You stood by me, so now I'll stand by you. Didn't do a damn thing. Didn't pardon one Black person that crashed out for the Democratic Party. Not a one. Didn't pardon anybody that had Black skin. And let me apologize again. Like I said, the thing went out. Old reliable always comes in handy. So let's see if they mess with this one. So anyway, the whole premise of what we're talking about is I understand people who are first generation Americans, they don't think there's anything wrong with illegal immigration because their parents are good people, and it is what it is. But we're supposed to be a nation of laws. We're supposed to be a nation of laws. Thunder says, it was big bro. You were spitting too much hot fire. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with my system. It's like they just cut it off. So, and that's been going on with a lot of the new Black media as they're trying to regulate what's happening. And the Democrats were really big on that. This is why they want to regulate the internet so badly. But we can understand why these first generation immigrants that are Americans are so, for illegal immigration. But again, if you guys ever run across somebody who is talking that nonsense, use the analogy of a crime. And because you're a good citizen now, should you get away with it? It's the same analogy. No, you shouldn't. If you murder somebody, you have to pay the consequences. If you rob a bank, just because you didn't get caught for 5 or 10 years, you're going to get caught. Good example, Bonnie and Clyde. They were robbing banks all over the Midwest, right? They ended up paying the price in the end. They couldn't just sit on the money because they're good people now, or they're playing Robin Hood and they're giving the money out to the people. I firmly believe that Black people, we have to stop being so damn emotional and bringing our religion into what is detrimental to our survival. I know not everybody lives in California, but these things are not coincidences, you guys. A whole Black community has been razed to the ground, not a building standing. And we're not supposed to say, wait a minute, hold on. A $6 billion stadium put right in the heart of a Black community. And we're not supposed to say nothing. Areas that had Black representation on the city council don't have representation anymore because Blacks can't afford to live there. LA City Council. Those council members were heard on mic how they deal with Black people and gentrify them and marginalize them in their communities. I keep telling you guys over and over again, do not let your political voice be taken over by these other groups, because that's what they're going to do. In my city, like I said, I have no issues with my representative. Had issues with her mother. I didn't have issues with her, right? But even her mother and I, mutual respect, right? But the thing is, because I was on their necks, they weren't getting away with what they wanted to get away with because I was highlighting it. But then I look around in my neighborhood, I'm the last black person standing. Exotic, greetings, how are you? I'm the last black person standing. But do I give up? No, I can't give up. Because I'm not fighting for me. I'm fighting for your average logical thinker's son. He shouldn't have to rent the American dream. He should be able to go out there and buy a house, not rent the house from the bank or the company that owns all the stuff. We got to make a stand now. We can't wait till tomorrow. We can't wait. Unfortunately, we cannot do what the civil rights era people did. They fought for their civil rights and they enjoyed their civil rights. This is our battle now. The only difference is when we start reaching certain goals, we need to keep going. I could be doing 5,001 better things than what I do, right? I could be going on cruises. I could be down in the DR. I could be in Australia, just enjoying the fruits of my labor. And people say, why do you do what you got to do? I have children. Hopefully one day I'll have grandchildren. But if I don't, I have nieces, I have nephews. If we do not make a stand for them, 20 years, let's just do the 20-year thing. In 20 years, and they've got to start from scratch, how far do you think they're going to get? I'm going to tell you guys a true story. Martin Luther King Day, January 20th, 2025, city of Moreno Valley, 1/3 black. Proclamation at city council, in the city chambers. How many black people showed up for Martin Luther King proclamation? 4. And you guys are going to sit here and tell me we need to fight for other groups when we won't even stand up for our damn selves? Come on, y'all. Come on, man. How do you say, oh, we need to do this and be Martin Luther King-like, and we can't even show up for our own holidays, but we show up for everybody else's? Cinco de Mayo, Negroes are all out there. Asian Pacific Islander Month, Negroes are all out there getting food and eating up and doing whatever they're doing, whatever, and great. Martin Luther King Day, how many Asians showed up? 0. How many Hispanics showed up? Maybe 8. There was more of them than there was of us, I could tell you that. I mean, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. This was a day that we fought for. Woo, we got to get Martin Luther King a holiday. How many of you guys remember in the 80s? That was a big thing the NAACP was fighting for. We got to get Martin Luther King a holiday. We got to get him a holiday. It's so important. Then we get it, then we shit on it. Then we shit on it. The NAACP, where were they at? Where were they at? Where I live. I didn't see no announcements. I didn't see anything from the NAACP. And you guys think I'm sitting here paranoid. I am not paranoid. I'm telling you, this stuff is happening in real time right in front of our faces. And we are so damn busy thinking about how we're going to feed our kids, put gas in our car, if we're going to be going to work tomorrow, if I'm going to get a paycheck, if, whatever else is going on, that we aren't even seeing it. You guys, come on. It's scary out here. It's scary. Like, share, and subscribe on your pages, and let's get this thing passed around a little bit. I don't have time for other groups to tell me I need to help them get more resources than they already should have. I'm going to speak as a black man first, always. And I'm a veteran, number 2. And until we do something about the national disgrace of this country disrespecting veterans, don't tell me nothing about no damn migrants. That is not my fight. Good luck to them. Good luck to them. But we have a designated holiday for Martin Luther King, and Negroes don't even show up. NAACP doesn't show up. The Urban League doesn't show up. How many of you guys saw MLK Day on TV during the basketball games, TNT, whatever, on Monday? During wrestling, Raw, WWE Raw, I didn't see nothing. We are being gentrified out of society. And it's all our fault. Integration, all the stuff that we're doing. And I'm not saying, hey, love who you love. But that's a part of it. Black men, black women, intermixing. One thing I do know, when you intermix with other races of men, ladies, they want their culture taught. Period. And for some reason, you guys keep the peace and you guys teach all that. I have a bunch of friends that are Asian that are married to Caucasian men, and great men, don't get me wrong. I have no problems with them. And I would see their children and I'd be like, and I'd say a few Japanese words or whatever that I remember. And the kids couldn't talk back to me in their native language. So native language being English, but I'm saying in their other language that they should know, that their mother should have been teaching them. And when people say, well, why is that so important, Donovan? I said, don't you look at black people. Our language was taken from us, and you guys are willingly not keeping your language. Big mistake. Thunder says, folks were laughing at my sleeping bag, solar generator, and portable cooktop. But when the winter storm hit, they came asking. But this time I said, nope, I hope they get it together one day. Yeah, Thunder, we are reactive. We're not proactive. What really messes me up is all of my redneck friends, all of my Asian friends, a lot of my Hispanic friends, if they agree with me or if they don't agree with me, they don't fight me. They don't say nothing. They just say, we get it, I guess. They're just like, hey, he's going to, he's fighting for his, he's going to get his. I get more pushback from black people. And in my community, I'm not an elected official. Oh, Donovan, here, you got to go check this out, whatever this. And I don't mind helping the ones that really, that do need help. I'm talking about those ones that be coming up with the stupidest things. Like I'm an elected official. Or they want me to engage in libel. I'm not going to do that. Especially if that's not my fight. I don't have no horses over here. Why the hell would I care about donkeys in Edgemont? You know what I mean? I don't want nothing to happen to donkeys, but I'm not going to pick up that fight. You need to fight that on your own. Your Logical Thinker says, why does that fall on black women, though? What's good for the black man is also good for the black woman. Men are to lead. Y'all stay in the community and we will follow, period. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you. What I'm saying is the nature of a woman when you marry a man is to follow the man in the marriage. And it doesn't matter who you marry. You can marry a black man. He wants his history and stuff taught and brought to the forefront. Men value legacy. Doesn't matter what man it is. So usually when women, intermarry, they pretty much follow what the husband wants. And I've seen that a lot with a lot of my Asian friends. They assimilate into the husband's culture. And I think it's a detriment not to teach their children their culture. Yeah, he's he's a white guy and you're a Japanese chick. The kid's going to know English because you live in America, but you should be teaching him like the Hispanics do. They speak Spanish at home and they speak English when they're outside of the house learning two languages. I think it's a detriment when you look at these kids, because the world is going to look at them as mixed or biracial. A lot of these kids look Asian, 6'2", Asian. They got Asian features. They're not going to be looked at as a white kid. So, we got to teach that culture. And I tell them, I said, you're making a big mistake. You need to teach them that language. And then what's going on in the global world for the future, the Chinese economy is the second biggest economy in the world. So if you, the Japanese economy is up there. It's, in the top 5. So if they learn their native language, they can go back to Japan and work at the corporation there because they can speak the language. Just like what your astrological thinker, what you're doing with your son by making him multilinguist. That's going to benefit him in the future. And that's, to me, that's what you need to, to be teaching our American kids. And I say this to people all across the United States and Black people. Our children are at a disadvantage in this school system because they are not in a dual immersion program. Why are they not teaching dual immersion Spanish in the school systems? With the Hispanics being the dominant culture in the United States, a dual immersion program is needed for native speaking Americans. You have lesson, why does that fall? Okay, yeah, so it falls on both parents, but the point is the woman is the first teacher. And that's what I know women, what the traditional thing. I'm speaking from a traditional aspect. Women are the first teacher. It falls on the woman to teach the children. She's the first teacher. So when she sets the curriculum, the kid usually follows it. The dad should be at a job working his ass off to provide for his family. He doesn't have time to do all that. That's what the woman's traditional job was, right? Yeah, Exotic, thank you. Yes, I am grassroots. Thunder says, what do you think the real reason President Trump is releasing info on MLK? I hope it's for clarity and not to degenerate the great man. I think the reason why he's doing a lot of this releasing stuff, number one, is because most of the people that were involved in it are dead. That's what I think. And I can tell you everything about JFK. I can tell you something about Robert Kennedy, but I could tell you everything about JFK. That stuff didn't make any sense. A sitting president gets shot and killed in broad daylight. Cameras, it's recorded, autopsies. Oh, it's unbelievable, that whole thing. Matter of fact, I was watching video on it on YouTube today on JFK. I even have computer programs that have articles from different people that show you different things. One of the photos, and just a little something for you guys if you guys are interested. One of the official photos from the Warren Commission shows in the back of Kennedy's head a little bullet when everybody said the back of his head was blown out. So those official photos can't be real. And then they weren't even photos. They were sketched artists. It was a sketch artist. It is so deep. That thing is so deep. Oh my God, I can think about that all day. Yeah, Star Chat, I'm sorry about that. Like I said, they don't want us having these conversations. They really don't. But I think the reason why he did that is because most of the people that were involved are dead. How many of you guys know George Bush, W, and HW, the father? How many of you guys know? Let's go with W, because most of you guys are familiar with W. Bush, Mr. Iraq man, Iraqi invasion, whatever, 2. How many of you guys know George W. Bush's grandfather? He is a Nazi. That family is a Nazi. They're all Nazis. George W. Bush's grandfather bankrolled the Nazi regime in Germany. That's a fact. Prescott Bush is his name. Google it, look it up. His bank during World War II was seized by the FBI. Factual stuff. George H.W. Bush was former director of the CIA. Very deep into the Kennedy assassination. Very deep into it. I mean, it's deep. It's deep. Like I said, we don't read enough, people. And what I'm saying is, I've read all these books, and my mom, she was on here, but she got off, I guess. But my mom can tell you, I would sit as a child and I would read these books, encyclopedias, but I would read like the JFK thing, and I would just read it for hours, different books. Not the thing is, one book isn't the expert book. And this is what I tell people. Donovan isn't the definitive grassroots person to listen to. You need to listen to Donovan. You need to listen to Demetra Kay. You need to listen to Brother Phil Scott. You need to listen to Pink Book Lessons, whatever. Listen to a whole gamut of sources and then come to your own conclusion. The problem that Black people have is we listen to one source and we go with it. But yeah, how many of you guys know that the whole Bush family, they're Nazis? Got their hands involved in the JFK assassination. Wait, here's another tidbit for you. How many of you guys remember JFK Jr.? You guys remember how he got killed in 1999? When they asked George W. Bush where he was on the day JFK Jr. got killed, he can't tell you. Because one thing about the Skull and Bones and the CIA and stuff, it's blood in, it's blood out. You got to make your bones. I mean, it's deep. This stuff goes deep, you guys. You guys got to really be interested in what is going on in the community you live in. And I'm very involved in my community. And well, I'm both much as I can be. And they know that Corey Jackson, he still thinks he got away with it. I don't forget stuff. I'm still on his neck. I'm still doing for him. And he looks like me. Black skin. Well, he doesn't look like me. He looks like Gary Coleman. But black skin like me, Negro sellout. And this is what we're trying to tell you guys to do. The revolution starts at the city council level, where you're at. Going and worrying about Kamala Harris and the presidency and the national elections, that doesn't do anything for you. When the city council makes a resolution that's going to tax you a little this or a little that, that hits you directly in your pocket directly. Your state government is where it starts. You got to pay attention. You got to vet these candidates. How many of you guys thought about this? When you let 22 million people into this country that come from countries where corruption is normal, then they have anchor babies, 20 years, why do you think now corruption is so normalized in the United States? Think about it. Why is corruption so normalized? Hey, Lady Diana Elizabeth. God, I love that name. It's just so elegant. Lady Diana Elizabeth. So welcome, welcome. And this is what happens. It changes the culture of a country when you let that many people in such a small thing of time. And these people come from countries where corruption is normal. So now we have these liberals that are telling me, oh my God, we need to, isn't it sad that he's deporting all these people? But what about the people that is coming into the country doing crimes, bringing in fentanyl, killing all of these Americans? We shouldn't have tears for them. I mean, where's the lunacy at in this stuff, man? A logical thinker says, speaking of crooked politician, looks like Lori Lightfoot might hold Tiffany Henyard accountable. Yeah, I watched the initial of it, but I wanted to jump on here real quick and kind of talk to you guys about that. But look at the normalization of corruption. Again, that brother that's in Fulton County, Georgia. How are you going to take $27,000 and go to Ghana and party over there, come back with no business resources for the city? We're our own worst enemies, you guys, and then we high-five it with the church. The minute Fannie Gorilla Grip Willis got in trouble, where did she go? To the church, and the church, and like I said, I'm criticizing the church, but I'm not a member of the church. I'm a Catholic. I was like, how do they let a woman speak in their church that is involved in um, in an affair, because I think what's his name was still married, or he might still be married, and you're letting this woman, you're giving her awards for her bad behavior that goes against biblical principles. I didn't understand that, as you know, and I'm not saying Catholics are, because we got our problems, trust me. I'm not saying, Catholics are all that, but we're more ritual. People think we're a cult, whatever, but whatever. But I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, this woman is an adulteress, and you're letting her speak into the church as if she's a victim, and nobody spoke out against it. We're our own worst enemies, you guys. I just want to say before I go, you guys, this issue that is Donald Trump is doing, immigration, some of the things, his revenge kickback tour, if he's going to prosecute people and whatever he's doing, you guys notice it has nothing to do with black people? It has absolutely nothing to do with black people, and yet you got these Negroes that want to put their nose in it. We're going to use all our resources. Think about it here in California. They have allocated $35 million in legal fees to fight the Trump administration. But yet a whole black community has been razed to the ground. Shouldn't that $35 million be better spent with the people who actually paid the $35 million, the taxpayer? This is how crazy we're getting, you guys. And these Negroes are not thinking outside of the box. They think the government is this other entity when the government is us. We're the government. They're going to take $35 million to fight the Trump administration, and you just had a natural disaster happen here in California. A whole black community destroyed. A lot of them will not be able to build back because their house, like my house, is on the old code. So if you build back, you have to build to the new code, which could be very extensive depending on how and what you're building, right? Why not give $35 million in regards to those people to help them rebuild? Because the insurance companies have pulled out of here in a lot of situations, and they're not going to cover a lot of stuff. But we're going to fight Donald Trump because he's supposed to be Hitler. But yet, if he was Hitler, Kamala Harris, all of these people stood there and let Hitler take the oath of office. Then he took the oath of office, and then he tore up the Constitution. And then now we've got roving slave patrols all in black neighborhoods, and all kinds of police shooting black people in the back, and all this other stuff. Like Jennifer Lewis said, they done fucked up now. Them Negroes been fucked up now. They're going to shoot them in the back. None of this stuff has happened. And I'm mad. None of it has happened. I got my weapons ready. I was ready to resist. That's what I was ready to do. But then you got these moist men. I'm just scared. I don't know, Donald Trump. I'm worried about my money. I'm worried about my house. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. I was telling my friend, we were talking, and he's scared about losing what he's got. How do you guys remember Rocky 3? All right, I'm afraid, Adrian. I'm afraid. What are you afraid about, Rock? I'm afraid to lose what I got. I'm afraid to lose what I got. Remember that in Rocky 3? He was afraid of Clubber. He didn't mind the beating. He was afraid to lose what he got. I told my friend, I said, I don't stand up for the 70% of black people, because it is true. 70% of black people live just below the poverty line, at the poverty line, or just above it. That's 70% of us. If they eradicate which they're doing a very good job of getting rid of the 70%, the 30% of us that are left, how long do you think it's going to take before they come after the 30% and get rid of us? That's why I advocate for the whole. There's strength in numbers. But you got these boule niggas that think, well, I got money and, I'm with them and, hey, I'm the first nigga in my neighborhood. I'm the first nigga on the job. I'm the first elected. Do you think white supremacy gives a damn about that? Whenever I hear people talk about they're the first, I'm just like, who cares? What does that got to do with anything? It's just lunacy. And we're the only group of people that think like this. We're the only ones. And then when they finally take shit from us, we wonder, well, what happened? How did it happen? What's going on? All these niggas out here worried about what Trump going to do and he going to put us in slavery, whatever. Do you know because of the 1994 crime bill, over 1 million black people were incarcerated? Most of us know somebody in jail. When you put a black person in jail, that don't scare us. It doesn't. Going to jail does not scare black people. But it amazes me how some of you women are sleeping with what Schwarzenegger used to say, girly men. You guys are sleeping with these girly men. How do you let a man, a so-called man, mount you, and you think that you're safe and you're protected by this dude that is worried about a dude that has a toupee that's been weaved into his skull, orange skin, and he's not even focused on you. He's focused on other people. Oh, he did this to black people, and he's going to do, and he took away voting rights or whatever civil rights legislation. Shouldn't the question be, why the hell didn't the Democrats codify this in law? All these Democratic administrations, and nothing was done to make sure black people are equal to everybody else in this country? That's the question you need to be asking yourself. Why weren't you protected? But we don't ask ourselves those things. We always, it's him. Oh, we got to fight him. See what he did to me? I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Maybe now we will realize, stop relying on government to solve our problems. Start relying on ourselves. That's what we need to do. But hey, you guys, it's Monday. I know you guys got other things you guys need to do. Just wanted to stop in and tell you guys, you have nothing to fear but fear itself. What could they do to us that hasn't already been done? Jesus, man, come on. Our grandparents, our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, you think you had problems? Fathom living in a society where you had to drink at a certain water fountain. Water's water. Think of the stigma that's put into your head that you're lesser than. Think about the fact that if you even looked at a white woman, you're going to be strung up. You think you guys got problems? Come on. You're afraid. Afraid of what? Afraid of what? And a lot of you guys live in states where you guys can open carry. I live in California where they don't want us to even, the citizens even to be armed. What are you afraid of? Stop it. Stop it. It's crazy. Anyway, you guys, join me and Dimitri tomorrow. We'll be doing the podcast, and then we're going to do the show. Don't know what we're going to be talking about, but again, join us there. Like, share, and subscribe. All we have is each other. What is going on with these mass deportations? I don't care if they're Haitian. Go build your country. African, it don't matter. That is not our issue. You are a legal citizen. And I'm going to show you another thing, how ignorant people are. Well, he's going to end birthright citizenship. You can't take away birthright citizenship if you were already born. Ugh, the education. If he's going to end birthright citizenship, which I believe he should, it's moving forward. Jesus Christ. All right, you guys. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Sorry about the sound issue. Going to be doing a lot more of these things. For those of you guys that are not worried and not stressed, the next 4 years, remember, Donald Trump is a lame duck president. He didn't promise black people nothing, but the one thing he is doing that is going to help black people is getting these immigrants out of here. However, go get plenty of popcorn, sit back, and enjoy the show. Because again, if the Democrats want to win anything, they're going to have to cater to that 28% that did not vote for Kamala Harris in the Democratic Party. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys be safe, be blessed. Got to go get Bad Benny. It's cold out there. And I will talk to you guys mañana. Work on your Spanish. And if you don't need the Spanish because you're retired like me, get your children into a dual immersion program like your average logical thinker. Your kids, you got to see what it is. This country is Spanish speaking dominantly. You're going to need to learn to speak Espanol. You might not need it, but your kids will. Learn Spanish, number one. Chinese, English, anything after that is great. But in this country, you're going to learn to have to deal with Spanish. That's going to help your kids get a job. Real quick, I had a young teenager. I said, why are you walking around here? You should have a job or something, doing something else. The guy's been putting in applications, whatever, online, whatever the deal is. He goes, I keep putting them in. And he goes, I'm not getting hired. I said, do you speak Espanol? He says, no. I said, you need to learn Espanol because they are more likely to hire you. Because number one, you got black skin, like they do black women. Black women, you're a woman and you're black, two birds with one stone. If you're black and you can speak Spanish, they're more likely to hire you because most of your clientele, like where I live, none of my neighbors speak English. They speak broken English, but most of them hardcore Spanish. That's going to be your base. So I told him, I said, you need to learn Spanish. So hopefully he'll get it and do it. But we need to tell that to our children. I don't care if you're in the South, you need to learn it because the Hispanics are infiltrating down there. When I was growing up, you never saw a Hispanic down in Louisiana, at least where I'm from. You never saw it. Now you see them, and they're building. So you've got to be bilingual. Why is it that we have ESL programs that we're paying for these migrants to learn English, but there's nothing for us to learn Spanish? Go to your city council, ask that question, put it on the agenda, get some money to have our children have a dual immersion program at the city level for adults and at the school. Go to the school board and put it in the schools because our kids are being disadvantaged. Donovan, Saadiq, recovering Democrat. I love you guys. You guys are the best on the planet. See you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening.